Well, Lucas Cole, I'm the CEO of a company called Epiphio. We make videos that help people understand what our clients do and why it matters, explainer videos, as they're called. Started my entrepreneurial journey about 13 years ago. I was just thinking about that, from the Atrium in Crossroads. That's where we started our first business. And so, yeah, I've been an entrepreneur for a while. As Luke said, I've had some successes, I've had some failures, all of that kind of stuff. And so Luke asked me to talk about talking to your key relationships before making the dive into entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs can cause a lot of unnecessary chaos and uncertainty for people. It may be a shocker to you, but it's true. Matter of fact, in our home, we have the 3-time rule. The 3-time rule is my wife won't start freaking out about what I'm planning to do until she's heard me talk about it 3 times, right? But this is really important. You have to bring your key relationships into these things, and it's hard to do it. So here's a couple things I've learned. When talking to your key relationships, whatever they are, whoever they are, your spouse, kids, parents, friends, mentors, partners, whatever it might be, don't look for affirmation. Do look for understanding. Okay. You will most likely not get affirmed when you're talking about what you want to do. There's a little saying I came across that has really helped me. You will look like a fool the entire time you're starting your venture until the very moment you're a success. The whole time, people are going to think you're an idiot. Right. And then you're going to like hit it and they'll be like, wow, he's a genius. Right. So you're not going to get affirmation. So don't look for it. Don't expect it from people. It's not fair to expect them to affirm you. It is fair to expect them to understand you. Okay. And it's also important that you seek to understand them, understand their concerns, understand their fears, understand why they might think it's stupid. Because here's something else I've learned. Sometimes the greatest insights about your new venture can come from the things that are hardest to hear. I just have a new idea that I'm pitching and trying to, push through in my business. And I was meeting with our first potential partner and I pitched it to them and I was super excited and they were just like, they couldn't have been less interested. And it was like deflating and I felt terrible and all that kind of stuff. But then I kind of put my ego aside and I listened. And I realized that they had a concern I hadn't thought about. And once I listened to that, then I also realized, oh, I don't think I actually pitched this the right way the first time I talked to them about it. And so I changed my pitch. I incorporated what they said. They're on board now, right? So if I'm just looking for affirmation, I leave that meeting and I'm pissed off. Okay. If I'm looking for understanding, I now have some wisdom and I can actually change my idea. So don't look for affirmation. Do look for understanding. Secondly, don't look for permission. Do look for alignment. Okay. Sometimes it feels like when we're talking to our spouse or we're talking to our friends or we're looking for them to say, yes, you can do that. And I think that's the wrong way to approach the conversation. It's not fair to them. And it's not a place of responsibility and power because quite frankly, you have to be responsible for this decision. You have to own it entirely. It's your call. You don't need anybody else's permission. Okay. However, you do want to be aligned with them. You want to be aligned with them. One of the greatest fallouts you can have in your relationship is if you push forward in something and you're not aligned with your key relationships. All right. Especially your spouse. When I recently had bought a company and we had to leverage all of our assets, had to put our mortgage up, our house up, and had to put our finance and all of our savings up, I prayed for weeks with my wife and my kids at the dinner table about the decision. I knew I was going to do it. Right. But I wanted to bring them with me. Right. And I was open to maybe finding out that I shouldn't do this. Right. But I wanted to bring them with me. So I wanted them to be aligned. Sometimes you can be aligned, but not in 100% agreement, right? your spouse or your friends might not understand everything. They might not get it exactly the way you do. But if you seek to be aligned with them and you move forward, the relationship stays intact. Okay. So key relationships are key in your entrepreneurial venture. You can cause a lot of chaos if you're not careful with them. Don't look for affirmation. Do look for understanding. Don't look for permission. Do look for alignment, then move forward.
Dang, that was so good. You had those phrases. Did we capture that in the chat? Say those one more time, Lucas, so that we can make sure we get those and put them in the chat. Affirmation.
Don't look for affirmation.
Don't look for affirmation. Look for understanding.
There you go. And then don't look for permission. Do look for alignment.
Man, that's good. I bet that's just, Kurt's got a page full of notes. Hopefully the rest of you guys do. That's rich. Lucas, as we talk about key relationships, like sure, your spouse, your kids, right? But aren't there others too,
Yeah.
right? Like some people man, and this is like part of the human problem, right? Like as relational beings, we have a lot of things that are undergird us and support us, right? And so like, I might have some guys that I hang out with every Tuesday night, right? And we hang out around a campfire and we do whatever we do. We smoke cigars or we drink bourbon or water or whatever your vice is and you're into, right? You do your thing with your people, or you have a wine night or a dinner night, or you have a Bible study or whatever your deal is. And maybe you starting this thing impacts your ability to show up to that on a consistent basis. Like that's a key relationship
right.
You should bring into this, right?
Right. Yeah. And I have a friend. Matter of fact, I just called him today with my latest crazy weird idea.
I want to get on the
fact,
list, by the way. Lucas, I want on the list of like, call me with your next crazy idea. Just
okay, all right.
I'm in.
This one's crazy. But anyway, he's my lifeline in this stuff. And he's my bro, he's my ride or die guy. But he's also like, we need that person that we can actually just say the crazy thing. And we know that it's like a safe place. Like he's going to let me say it. He's not going to like shoot it down immediately. He's going to support me. But to your point, whatever I do, I also want to make sure he's on board. Like I want to bring him into it. I want to make sure I can talk to him about it. So it's a key relationship. It's outside of my family. It's outside of my business partners, but it's absolutely key. And if you have that, cherish it. Like that friend is worth gold.